Okay everyone, so what we're going to do today is we're going to figure out acid and bases using red cabbage juice. So red cabbage juice is a special property that allows it to help indicate whether it is an acid or a base. When it's boiled and turned into a liquid, we're able to use it by placing it in different substances to find out what the pH is approximately going to be. Other than the indicator we used previously, which was pH paper, or another word is litmus paper. That is another indicator we use to help identify acids and bases. Today what we're going to do is use the cabbage juice and compare it to add it to different substances, and it will change colors based on what it is. The scale for the pH scale for cabbage juice is a little bit different though. The scale is pink, dark red, violet for all the ones that are going to be acidic, and then it's going to be blue, green, blue, and yellow green when it is a base. Whereas when we normally go through our pH scale, you see it go from red for acidic all the way to bluish purple for basic. So to start it on off, we are going to go ahead and take a look at our cabbage juice that we have as our indicator. This is going to be our control in the experiment. Then we're going to test out different substances to find out if they're acid, neutral, or a base, and identify the colors, the range of the acidity or the base, and then if it is a neutral. So we're going to use this scale we have up above, identify acid, base, or neutral, and then we are going to go ahead and get the actual amount. Before I get started though, I would like you to pause and go ahead and figure out if your hand sanitizer is a acid, base, or neutral for all 6 different items we are going to be testing. Now that you have made your predictions about what you think each of these are going to be, we're going to go ahead and test them out. So the first one we're going to start out with is hand sanitizer. Now, if you look at our hand sanitizer, it was clear from the beginning, and now it has more of a purplish color to it. You can compare it next to the control. We know that it is going to make it a purple or violet, so we can label that on our page as the color is violet. The range could be at about a 5 to a 7 for the acid. It is going to be a acidic thing because of this, so we're going to write down a acid at the end. The next one we're going to go ahead and do is lemon juice. Oops. You can see that this one turned a much brighter pinkish color, so that is going to be our lemon juice. If you compare it next to our base or our control, you can see that it has drastically changed colors. So if we're going to go ahead and go over, what color are we going to write down for our lemon juice? Probably a pink, because it is such a bright, vibrant color. So that range for it is approximately going to be 1 to 2. And we're able to identify that because it's on this side of the scale, it is an acid. Okay, the next one we're going to do is orange juice. This time I'm not going to tell you the color that it turns out at the end, and I want you to identify the range, the color, and if it's an acid or a base. Make sure you watch what color it changes. Or not. too much in? Oh, there it is. There we go. So because the orange juice is a lot darker than the others, it might need a little bit more of the indicator as it starts to change. It is starting to get there. You can see that the tint is no longer the bright yellowish color that orange juice is. Go ahead and look. Okay guys, so I did have to go back and redo a little bit of the orange juice because when you think about orange juice, it's very thick with its consistency, and there's a lot of, it's very dark and hard to see. You can't see through it. It's not very transparent. So I did redo it, and I was able to get it so it did change its color. So you are able to see that it is a different shade now. So our orange juice is going to be the next one you're going to mark. Before I let you go over, I'm going to bring up the lime juice, or the lemon juice, so you can compare the lemon juice to the orange juice, and you can see how the colors are much different than each other to help you make your decisions based on that. So what you're going to do is go ahead and go over and judge if it is pink, dark red, violet, blue, green, or yellow. Decide if the color, then give me the range and come up with if it's an acid or a base. What we're going to do next is we are going to move on to our next substance. And our next substance is going to be vinegar. So we're going to see what color does vinegar change to. So as you can see, because vinegar is clear, it was able to change brightly and change to a different color. So now that you see the bright vinegar color, go ahead and compare it to your control, and then go ahead and write down whether you figured out if it's an acid or base, what color you came up with, and the scale. The next two we are going to do, we have the last two, so let's go ahead and start with our baking soda.
So for this one, we took powdered baking soda and mixed it in the water, which is why it's a liquid right now. That's the only way you'll be able to test it.
As you can see, the baking soda did change colors. Now you can go ahead and look at the color and compare it to the control. Remember what color the brightness was for the other ones. You're going to come over, look at your scale, and determine which one you think the baking soda and water concoction is. Okay? And then we are going to do one more, and that is going to be ammonia. For those of you that don't remember, ammonia is a product that we use to help clean things. Some people use it with laundry detergent. Some people use it as an alternative to bleach. So you can see what color that one turned into. Go ahead and compare it to your control. And then we're going to come over and look at our graph and figure out which section on here that was, and write down the color, the range it was, and if it's an acid, base, or a neutral. Okay guys, now that you've filled out your table, you're going to go ahead and go down and do your conclusion questions. If you're not sure about something, like the last question, I'll give you guys a hint as we go along. Number 7, how does a pH of 3 differ from a pH of 4, which is stronger? Make sure you go ahead and go back and look at your pH intro article that we did earlier this week. When you're done with that one, go ahead and look at number 8 and
So think about what's in your stomach and why we would be giving you medicine to treat a stomach ache. What the medicine would do to the substance that is in your stomach that helps you digest your food.
And the last question is based on acid rain. Why does that affect the environment? If you have an idea about that, go ahead and explain it. If you are not sure, think about why in each of those locations it would be important for acid rain to occur. If you aren't sure, go ahead and look and do some research on this to get your answer.